The drawer sticks when you pull it. Second one down, kitchen, the house you grew up in. Inside, a 401k enrollment form, unsigned, dated 11 years ago. Your father's handwriting starts the top line, stops at the signature. Money doesn't wait for you to understand it. It compounds while you're still confused. Nobody in this family has ever owned a share of anything. Not a house that wasn't underwater, not a stock, not a plan. You knew this the way you know your own address, flatly, without needing to check. You're 26. Kitchen table, different kitchen, your own apartment. Laptop open. A brokerage account application, half filled. Your hands hover over the routing number field. You've never done this before. You look it up 3 times to be sure you're not about to lose the money forever by mistake. No one taught you this. Your brother leans in the doorway, phone in one hand, unimpressed. You're gonna sit there and give your money to some app? He doesn't wait for an answer. He never does. He watches you type your social security number into a form and shakes his head once, like he's already right about how this ends. You don't explain it to him. You never will. The shift. You stop waiting for someone to explain this. You start reading the forms yourself. 9 tabs open. Vanguard, Fidelity, a forum thread from 2011. You read all of it, twice. Nobody's coming to check your work. 12 months in, balance, $12,847. You didn't expect to feel anything looking at a number, but you check it before you check your phone for text now. That's new. You didn't change. The habit did. Lunch break, break room, fluorescent lights that hum a half-step flat. Gerald sits across from you. Same seat every day for 6 years. Tie a little loose by noon. He doesn't ask what you're invested in. He slides a printed sheet across the table instead. Expense ratios, side by side. His fund, 0.68%. Yours, if you'd pick the one everyone at work recommends, 1.42%. He taps the second number twice with one finger. Doesn't say a word about it. Goes back to his sandwich. You do the math that night. On $12,847, compounded over 30 years, that difference isn't small. It's a car. It's 2 cars. You stare at the spreadsheet longer than the numbers should require. A coworker mentions a stock tip in the elevator, something his cousin heard, up 40% in a month. You nod. You don't write it down. The shift. You stop checking your balance for comfort. You start checking it for data. A number only means something once you know what it's made of. That night, you build a spreadsheet instead of opening the banking app. Columns for contributions, columns for growth, a column that just says cost. You fill in every row you can prove. Milestones don't announce themselves. You have to check the math to know you crossed one. A Tuesday. Nothing about it earns significance. You're standing in a grocery store line, phone buzzing in your pocket, a balance alert. $100,412. You look at it the way you'd look at a weather notification. Then you put the phone away and pay for milk. You wait for the feeling to catch up. It doesn't. Sunday dinner, your mother's table, the same chairs since you were 9. Your brother's there, fork moving slower than his mouth. So you're 100,000-aire now, he says, not quite a question. He says it to the table, not to you. Your mother's hands go still over her plate. Just for a second. She doesn't ask the number, she asks if you're eating enough. No one taught you this. You think it and don't say it. Your brother watches you not answer the way he's always watched you. Like he's waiting for the version of you that used to explain things, used to defend, used to need him to understand. That version doesn't show up tonight. He tries again, quieter. Forgetting where you came from or something? Not really a joke. His jaw does something small and tight when you don't take the bait. You clear your plate. You wash it by hand, slow, longer than the plate requires. The number sits in your phone the whole drive home, unchanged, unfelt, exactly as flat as it was in the grocery line. The market takes 22% off the top in 6 weeks. $612,000 becomes $478,360 on a Thursday morning. and you watch the number update in real time like a wound you can't stop checking. Diane calls at 7:14 p.m., your aunt. Thumbnail always chipped down to the quick, some habit from 30 years of shift work nobody in the family talks about directly. She doesn't ask for anything. She mentions the furnace, how old it is, how the estimate came in at $4,900. She mentions it twice, in two different ways, then goes quiet on the line. You open your brokerage app while she's still talking. Withdrawal screen, amount field, blinking cursor. Your thumb sits over the button. Not anger, not guilt. Something colder, the specific stillness of a decision you already know you shouldn't make. $4,900 is nothing against $478,360. That's the argument your thumb is making. It isn't the argument that matters. You think about the drawer, the unsigned form, a man who never got the chance to hold a number long enough to protect it. The shift. You stop protecting the number. You start protecting the discipline that built it. You close the app. You call Diane back a different way. Not with the withdrawal, with a number you can actually afford from cash flow, no liquidation, no story to tell your future self about the year the market dropped and you flinched. The market doesn't punish you for holding. It punishes you for deciding out of fear. Your hands are steady dialing her back. That's the only proof anything changed. Wealth doesn't close distance. It just gives you the option to ignore it. $1 million. It crosses on a Wednesday, 2:47 p.m., while you're refilling a water bottle at the office sink. No one's around. You check the balance twice to be sure the decimal is real. Then you go back to your desk and answer an email about a spreadsheet. Gerald retired last spring. He texts sometimes, a fishing photo, a line about interest rates. Today it's different. 7 figures isn't the finish line. It's just the first place you can finally see how far the course actually goes. No follow-up. He doesn't wait for a reply, same as always. You read it twice. You don't respond right away. The shift. You stop measuring distance in miles. You start measuring it in decisions no one else had to make. Your brother still lives 20 minutes from your mother. Diane's furnace got fixed with your money, and neither of you has mentioned it since. You could buy the house you grew up in outright. You think about it longer than you'd admit. There's a version of you that visits more. There's a version that sends money quietly and calls it nothing. You're not sure which one you've become or if you get to choose. No one taught you this. The specific weight of having more than the people who raised you, and what to do with your hands when you're standing in their kitchen. You put your phone away. You don't tell anyone the number today. The drawer still sticks. Second one down, kitchen, the house you grew up in. You're 38 now. You didn't plan to open it today. You were looking for scissors. The form is still there, unsigned. Your father's handwriting stops at the same line it always stopped at. You didn't change. The drawer did. It holds something different now, standing next to a folder you brought yourself. Statements, beneficiary forms, a will with your mother's name on it, filled out and signed. You sit at the same table where you first opened a brokerage account alone, 11 years in one house ago. Your mother's in the next room. She doesn't ask about the number. She never has. She asks if you're staying for dinner. You are. No one taught you this. You're the one who has to decide who does now. Whether that's a nephew, a cousin, some kid at a kitchen table you haven't met yet, staring at a form he doesn't understand. You don't sign anything today. You just close the drawer, gently, the way you'd close a door on a room you're not finished with. The next video is every level of real estate investing, $0 to empire. Subscribe, you're already in it.